Ever watched a dad outsmart an entire insurance company with receipts? This happened to my family back in 1987, and it's still one of my favorite stories. At the time, I was a college junior, and my younger brother was a senior in high school. My parents had just finished remodeling the house. The kitchen was brand new, the cabinets had just been installed, and the whole place looked like something out of a magazine. With the work finally done, my parents took a trip to Florida. That's when my brother made a choice that nearly ruined everything. He invited his girlfriend over and decided to cook French fries. The stove was a new flat ceramic cooktop, one of those 8th designs that looked futuristic but had a flaw. You couldn't tell if it was still hot except for a tiny orange light. He poured oil into a pan, didn't notice the stove was still on, and left the kitchen. Oil doesn't evaporate. It just keeps heating. Eventually, it overheated and flames spread through the kitchen. My brother rushed outside with his girlfriend and the dog. The fire department arrived quickly and stopped the worst of it, but the brand new kitchen and dining room were destroyed. Smoke damage spread throughout the rest of the house, making it unlivable. Meanwhile, my parents were still on their flight home. When they landed, they were greeted with the news that their newly remodeled kitchen was gone. My brother made himself scarce for a few days while everyone calmed down. But the real story started when my father picked up the phone and called the insurance company. My dad was not someone you could intimidate. He had a filing system in the basement that looked like something out of a government archive. Rows of metal racks, accordion folders, and thousands of receipts. He had saved every single piece of documentation since the early 60s. Appliances, furniture, remodels, you name it, he had proof of purchase. The insurance company began their usual stalling routine. They asked for documentation, hoping to trip us up. My father calmly handed over receipt after receipt. Every single thing they questioned, he had proof for. Still, they dragged their feet. After months of delays, they came back with an offer so low it was almost insulting. Now, my father had spent years dealing with both lawyers and insurance companies through his work. He hated both when they played games, and he wasn't about to let them win here. He refused to accept the settlement. Instead, he filed a lawsuit against the insurance company for violating the homeowner's policy. When I asked him why he wouldn't just take the money and move on, his answer was simple. They do this to people all the time. Families are forced to accept whatever they offer because they need to rebuild quickly, but I'm not letting them get away with it. So he studied the policy line by line looking for an angle, and then he found a strategy so clever it still amazes me. One summer afternoon, while we were cleaning up the damage, there was a knock at the door. My brother answered. A man handed him some papers and said, "Are you James?" My brother nodded. The man replied, "Consider yourself served." My brother looked stunned. My dad just smiled. He had sued my own brother for negligence. It sounds outrageous, but there was a plan behind it. The same insurance company that carried our homeowner's policy also carried our liability coverage. By suing my brother, they were required to provide him with legal defense. That meant the company was now fighting against itself. The result was immediate. The very next day, my father's lawyer got a call. The insurance company didn't want the case going any further. They agreed to settle the claim in full. But that wasn't the end of it. What my father did exposed a loophole in state insurance law. At the time, it was legal to sue a family member under overlapping policies. But after our case, the law was permanently changed. The loophole was closed, and no one could ever pull the same move again. My dad didn't just win against the insurance company. He forced them to pay every cent they owed, and in the process reshaped the rules in our state. And that's how one determined man, armed with a basement full of receipts and the will to fight, made a greedy insurance company fold almost overnight.